Hi, welcome back. We had seen a lot of Axpert 11.4 in our last video, mainly focusing on the user experience and plugin capabilities. Today, let's continue this with the Config Studio. Let's see how to create fields and create forms using the Config Studio. Let's log into the demo software. I'm giving my credentials. And now this goes into the landing page. Let's look at some use case where you need to add a field in the application that is being developed on Axpert. Let's consider, for example, an invoice screen which is actually looking like this. So now it is actually listing all the invoices when I search for the invoices. Now let me load one of the invoices in the edit mode and show you the screen how it looks like. So it captures major information like who's the customer, from which warehouse the invoice is being raised, the sales order number, the against which the invoice is raised, the invoice number, the salesman, what is the payment mode. So quite a few details, the list of items and the summary of taxes, amounts are all captured. Now let's say in addition to this, I want to capture the delivery details, like through which delivery partner the goods are being sent. So that means I would need a field after this barcode field. I want to add a field where I'm going to select the delivery partner. It could be a static list, or I could use it selected from another form, or it could be through an API. So now let's consider a simple use case of selecting the delivery partner from a static list. So to do this, all I do is I go click on the right top, this Config Studio. Here is the Configuration Studio. I click on this. I go to Forms. Now this is going to list all the forms in the application. Now here is the invoice form. I open this. It gives me the list of form elements in this tstruct. So it gives me what is the DC, to which table this DC is saved. This is a very useful list with which you will be able to understand how any form works in Axpert. It actually gives basic information about every data element in this structure. So what is this field, what's the expression, if there is a SQL, it gives you the SQL, if there is a, whether it is read only, hidden, all the details it provides you here. So this gives a summary view of every data element in the structure. This could help you to understand how the application works and also make changes and also look at impacts of changes. Now let us take this example in which I want to add a field to this invoice form. So here is the new field button. I click on this. I select to which DC I want to add this field. So I give delivery partner as the field name. I give the caption. The field type is, you have these basic field types like auto generate, you want a checkbox, checklist from a static list or checklist from a form, currency field, date field, decimal number. You have drop down from API, drop down from another form, drop down from a static list. So these are the kinds of fields that are available, types of fields that are available for you to create. Now let's take drop down from a static list. Now I'll give the list as a comma separated list. So the static list could be something like this. Now let's say I have got FedEx, Blue Dot, and then I have On Dot, and then India Post, and as in any other T struct, you'll be able to use a formula to calculate if you want to do some default calculation. You can have a formula to validate this. You can set some properties like whether you want this to be unique and can it be empty and where it has to create this field. Now I'm submitting this field. So what now Axpert is doing is it is actually going to your application, creating this field in the database table, updating the database table. Now let's see it in action. Let's see the new field that has been added. Here is our invoice screen. Let me reload this invoice screen. So I'm going back to the same invoice which I opened, or let me take a new invoice that could be even better to understand how this is worked. So I'm using this plus button to open the invoice in the new mode. Now here is an option which actually clears the cache and reloads the form. So I click on this and it clears all the local cache and the in-memory cache. So, and here is this field delivery partner that we added now. Now I can use the form designer to go and change the position of this field. So I click on the designer, which is on the right top. So now it's gone into the design mode. I can resize this field and I can drag and drop this into the right position. So that's it. We save this, publish, and we are good to go. So here is your new field, and these are the options that we added there. So adding a new field to a form and using it in your list and analytics can be done in a jiffy. Now let's look at the next use case. Let us now see how to create a new form to implement a new functionality into an Axpert application. Let's take the case of, let's say we are having an ERP application and you want to create a travel claim form for employees to fill in their claims and submit it to the organization. So to do that, I'm going to start by logging into the system. I give my password, my credentials. Now let me go into the config studio and let's use the config studio to see how this can be easily done. So this is where I'll find my config studio. I go into the configuration studio. I click on the forms where I'm going to get the list of forms. And here is an option to create a new form. I give a name. I give a name as claim form. Caption. At this point of time, I need to select what type of a form I need to create. You want a simple form, a form with header details, footer. These are some of the forms that you can create. Let me show you a picture of the form that I am intending to create here. So this is the kind of a form that we are trying to create, where it's got a claim ID, a claim date, an employee name, who is claiming, travel to which city, the purpose of travel is entered, and you select the type of claim. It could be a conveyance, it could be a travel, food, boarding allowance, entertainment allowance, whatever it is, and the claim amount, and what are the supporting bills. This is a form that we are going to create now. So to do this, I would go in and select a header detail type. I click on OK. Now it's created a form Now it's automatically created two DCs, which are nothing but data containers. For each frame, there is going to be one DC. So in DC1, we are having these 5 fields: claim ID, date, employee name, travel to, and purpose of travel. So let's go ahead and start creating those fields. So I select DC1. So this is going to be my claim date, claim ID first. So this is where I'm creating the claim ID. I'm saying it's an auto-generated field. The prefix could be CLM hyphen. Starts with 1. It should generate 6 digits number. This is same like what you have in the Axpert Developer Studio. Now this is now going to create the first field. It's going to create the form. It's going to create the table, and it's going to create everything in the backend. Set it up for you, and it will also create the necessary frames in the front end. All those components and objects that are required, it would have created now. So I've created the claim ID field. Now I'm going to create the claim date field. So I give the caption. I say this is a date type of a field, and I'm going to use the expression as fill in with today's date. If they want, they can change it, and if I want to change any of these properties, I can, but I choose to submit this field. So it creates the next field in the same T-struct, which is claim form. So now it's created the next field. Now again in DC1, the next field is I'm having employee name. So I go back here, I say it is employee. Now this is going to be a drop down field. So I can have an auto generate, a checkbox, a checklist from a form, checklist from a static list, currency, date, a drop down from API, drop down from another form, or drop down from a static list. And you have so many other fields that you can use. Right? Now for this purpose, I'm going to use a drop down from a form. I'm going to select the employee name from the employee master. So I have this employee master, and which is the drop down field in this. I select, this is the field which I want to select, and this maybe I can say I can set whatever properties I want. I submit this. So the employee name field is now being created in the backend. Now next is we need this field for travel to. It's going to be a drop down from city. So again I'm using DC1. So field name is travel to. I fill in the caption. Again this is going to be a drop down. So I have a form for city. So let me take the city. I take the city name. And so this is going to create the backend SQL. And this field, when it is actually created in the backend, it would create a foreign key reference to city master. So the field is created now. Now I am going to start creating the fields in the DC2, which consists of claim type, claim amount, and uploading of documents. So now to do that, I select DC2 here and then give the field name, type in a caption, and I'll select a drop down from a static list. So these could be the list of the types of claims that an employee can make. You can have your own list the way in which you want, or if you want to have it pick it up from a master, you can do that. Right. So now this is creating this claim type field. Now the next field is the claim amount. So that is also in DC2. So this is a decimal number. It automatically brings in decimal 2. with data width as 10. If you want to change it, you can change this. So this is going to be claim amount. Now I have created this field. So now this is creating this field in the database and in the form. Now you could also add a validation to the field. Subsequently, we can look at adding validations. Now the last one is any field where you need a file upload, you prefix it with the AXP file and underscore, you say bills. So that becomes the field name. The field name starting with AXP file underscore will have the functionality of file upload. So here I give the caption as attached bills. And so this is basically, we would say it's a simple text. So I select simple text. So I submit this. And this completes the form creation from the configuration studio. So let's go back and see the field, the form in action. I close the config studio. I have an option to refresh the menu here. So click here. Now you will find this claim form here. I click on this, use the plus button to see the form. Now here is the form that we created now. Now use the design mode to design this form the way in which you want. This has all the features of a form designer. So you take this, put it here. So make it look better. And this also, we take it to the first line. And this, now we can move it in such a way that this gets aligned to the space can be filled in here. And that takes care of the whole thing. So I'm making some small changes to this, maybe increasing the claim amount a little bit, and that's it. So now I save this design, I publish it, and I go to runtime. So this field is done. So let's go back and see the field, the form in action. So I select the employee, select the city. So let's say I'm going to New Delhi. So what is the purpose of travel? So what is the type? For accommodation, let's say I'm claiming 5,000 rupees. And I can start dragging and dropping files into this. So I can take the pictures and put it, and this file you can open it and see what is there. So you could also upload it, scan it from a mobile device. So this form can be used over a mobile device also, and this will work the same way. And now this is done. So these are all options that are available in the grid. Now I'll submit this. So this is being saved. So your data is there. Now you could also import data into this form. To do this, here you have an option to import data. Now I can download a template for importing. So which form I need to import? So this is going to be my claim form. I select the form. I select what are the DCs. So I'm saying I'm going to select all the fields, maybe the claim ID, then the claim date. So the claim ID is the primary field, and the fields are going to be all the fields excluding the attachment field. So I'll select claim ID, claim date, employee, travel to, and then claim type. So let's say I have an Excel sheet which has some data. So let me see that Excel sheet and what are the data that I have. So I have claim ID, date, employee and travel to, and I have claim type and claim amount. So I am selecting only these fields now. So I am going to select claim type and then the claim amount. So now I am asking it to create a template. Now here is my template. So this is my template. I will copy the data into this template from my sample and let us see how it works. So I'm just adjusting the Excel sheet, that is the template that Axpert has provided. Now what I'll do is I'll go to my sample. So I'll take it from here, take all this data, I'll push it into my downloaded template Excel file. And then I'll go to for the DC2, for each DC it is created a sheet. So for this DC2 also I have some sample data. I take this, so here is the data that I'm going to upload. So let me save this file. So now going back here, let me say I want to import data into claim form. So the first step I did was I downloaded a template and I copied some sample data into it. Now I'm going to use that same sample data, submit this to this. So now if you see, it automatically brings the data and shows you how it is mapped the columns. So the claim ID is actually connected to the first column, claim date second column, employee name in third column, and travel to in the fourth column. Similarly for the sheet 2, you can select the sheet 2 and see how Axpert has automatically mapped the columns, and then you have the claim type and the claim amount. So this is fine, so we don't need to make any changes. So we submit this. So this will automatically now go to the background and it will start doing the import process. It will not hold you to, so here is the status. So the background process has actually given you a status. So totally 25 records are there, 19 is inserted and updated. So there might be some errors. So now let me see the list. So to do that, I can look for the claim form from the search. So this brings the claim form. So here is the data which is got imported. So now I can do a filtering, I can do all these things, whatever is available on the list. I can do filters to based on the fields in the form, and then I can select what are the columns that I want to see. So field captions, what are the fields that I want to see, I can select. So in the screen I'll be able to select what are the fields that I can select. We can change the selection, we can change the filtering, we can change the ordering. So all these things that are normally that you can do in an Excel sheet, you can do. And from here you can also go into and see it in a read-only mode. So with all the details. You could also go into an edit mode here. So this is a complete listing plus editing capabilities is available to you at this point. Now you could also see an analytics of this claim form. So to do this, let me go to the analytics page. So I'll now add the claim form to my analytics. So this is applied to all users. So now if you see, I have this. So based on the claim ID, so now with this I can do the settings here. I can say I don't need the claim ID to be given as a group field. So based on these three fields is what we will be seeing the claim amount. So how many employees? So employee wise, what is the claim count? Travel to destination wise, what is the claim? New Delhi, how much? Bangalore, how much? Similarly, claim type wise, for food and beverages, how much should be spent? Accommodations, how much should be spent? So for all these things, you don't need to do any of the development work or writing sequels or any of these things you need to do. Axpert will automatically make it and give it to you the moment a T-struct is created. So that gives you tremendous power, and it would crush development times by at least another 30%.